Welcome to Aligned and Turned On with Nedjma. This is a space for women who are done settling for fine or performing growth and that are ready to truly lead from their truth and their soul's purpose. This is where we have real, unfiltered conversations about what it actually takes to own your truth, your power, and your full expression in all areas of your life. And so through these conversations and through the lens of working with my work, the 5 Pointed Star Path, we go beyond surface level growth and into the kind of self-discovery that changes how you show up in everything. So let's dive in. Today, we are exploring from another perspective the first step of the 5 Pointed Star Path, owning your freaking greatness. And I am joined by the amazing Anouk Kral. Hello, beautiful.
Well, hello. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So happy to have you. So, just to introduce you briefly, Anouk is a high-end brand activator for visionary female entrepreneurs who are done playing small. She does not help people build brands. No, she helps them embody them. Ooh, her work is about identity, expansion, standards, presence, and capacity. She is not here to convince. She is here to calibrate. This is so powerful. And I have to say that I met Anouk. I had the pleasure to meet Anouk twice. And actually, last
Yeah.
time we shared an Airbnb together, so we were roomies. I just love your energy, Anouk, and you'll probably see through this interview. Anouk is all about fun, and she is a very high powered being. So I'm really, really grateful that you're here with us on this podcast.
What a great introduction this is.
Like with me.
Thank you. Yeah, nice, nice, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's hit the ground running.
hmm
I want to ask you, just to get us started, what
hmm
does owning your greatness actually means for you right now in your life?
Wow. Owning your greatness um, is fully expressing who you are without holding back for no one and for nothing at all. Yeah, taking up space fully. And it sounds easy, but it actually is not easy at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for most women, we think we are that is what we want to do, and we say maybe that is what we want to do. We go all out, and yeah, let's take up space, and we encourage each other, and we put it in the caption. Yes, go for it, and come on, women, and we're cheerleading each other on. But to actually do it, to step up, to take up space well, life is lifing, and
Yes.
people are yeah thinking something about it, saying something to you about it, writing things in the comments to you.
Mm,
There's so many things that makes us question our self-worth and thinking, can I really do this? Can I really be here? Do I really belong here? And that makes us step back and
yeah.
hold back and not really owning up to that space and to the wonderful things that we have to bring.
I love that because what I'm hearing you say is it's easy to take up space and like, yeah, let's show up when
Yeah,
everything's
yes,
easy, when everything's
yes.
aligned, when everybody's cheering you on. But
hmm
what about when it's actually uncomfortable, when it's actually challenging? And that's
Yes,
where actually we're called to own our greatness. Because if we're just in our greatness, that's because there's levels to it. That's what I feel like you were
yes,
speaking to as well. So if we want to
yes.
get to the next level, it's going to be uncomfortable.
And that is the thing that we always say that it's okay to get out of the comfort zone. And of course, you own your greatness, but this is the biggest gap that we have to close.
Mhm.
And the thing is that we want to close it by doing easy work. Like, oh, maybe we need another strategy, or maybe if I get more coaching, or maybe if I get more this or more that, or read a book about it, or
Mhm.
do a ritual. But the thing is, it is a change in identity.
Mhm.
If we want to close the gap to really owning our greatness, it's a you do that on identity based,
Yeah.
and you need to upgrade your identity. And then there's this gap between where you are right now and where you want to go, and where you are in your mind maybe already. and how people still perceive you in your old identity because you're not showing up in your new identity yet. And that part is really uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the important thing here that I'm hearing you say is it's there's always an upgrade, right? Because it's
Yes.
like you don't never know what's the next level of identity, but it's also the quick fix, the search for the quick fix and the quick solution.
Yes.
And we
Yeah.
see that in everything, right? How can I have a quick dinner, fast food? But it's just like
Yes.
fitness, weight loss. What's going to be the magic pill that I can just take and I don't have to think about it anymore and it's done? But
Yeah.
there's no, actually, it's interesting because we want that. I think we're human, so we have that tendency to want that. But there's no real pride or fulfillment, I think, in just getting there. Because ultimately,
No.
right, it's not the result that's going to fulfill you. How long are you
No,
going to
because
actually celebrate that? It's
I
who
heard
you
that about
became.
winning. Yeah,
Yeah.
about winning the lottery.
Mm,
Because a lot of people, that's a quick fix, right? Like, oh, I want more money. Oh, I want to win the lottery. And then people who
exactly.
actually win the lottery, you know what happens? They lose their
They lose
money.
it. Yeah.
They lose it. They lose. They cannot because they didn't do the work. They didn't grow into that identity of having
Yes.
that kind of money. They didn't take the steps. They just instantly became a millionaire. They didn't upgrade the identity. They just have the
Yes.
money, and then they lose it again because they can't identify themselves with it. They don't know how to hold on to that, and then they
Yes.
step back into their old identity because they lose everything.
That is such a powerful example because that is what you said, right? Because if you're just building wealth progressively, yes,
Yes.
you're always expanding your identity, but also as you do that, you learn how to manage it, how to hold money, what it requires to earn that kind of money. And maybe you're learning some strategies along the way as your identity expands. But if it's just given to you, you don't have the energetic or strategic capacity to actually hold on to it and
No.
know what it's like to maybe put some in savings. Now you're just so like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to go
Yeah.
spend it all on a house. And you don't understand what it requires because you haven't walked the path.
No. And every day you make decisions, but they are based on your identity.
Mm-hmm.
Because and they could be small decisions, but every day you have to make decisions. And you think, am I someone who says yes to this? Am I
Yeah.
someone who says no to this? And if you're a mom, your children test you, they ask you a whole lot of questions, and you have to decide yes, no, yes, you can do that. Am I a mom that says yes to this?
Yeah.
Am I someone who says no? But then it also goes to am I someone that pays for an upgrade? Am I someone that flies business
Yes.
class? Am I someone that drives all by herself alone in a car for a long distance or
Yeah.
abroad? Or is that something that I don't do? Am I a morning person? Am I a sporty person? Do I go to the
Yes.
gym? Not? It's the story we tell ourselves because we make decisions. Yeah, that's not for me. I'm not a sporty person. I've never been like
Well,
that.
I have an example that's actually really real in my life. My grandmother, who has passed now, but she would want to do certain things that my grandpa didn't want to do. And us
Mm,
as our generation would be like, well, just go and do it.
yeah.
But in their mind, it's like, I'm the wife of this person. So
Yes.
we need to do things as a unit. I cannot
Yeah.
do things on my own.
Yeah.
And they limited
And then
her.
you miss your own identity in that part.
Yes.
Yes, all these joint decisions. And the fun part is you can change that every day. The decisions you make, the stories you tell yourself. I mean, I was 40 years old and I thought, I have to tell myself a different story. I have to tell myself, yes, I am a morning person. Yes, I am someone who goes to the gym and I got a personal trainer. But I was 40 years old already.
Yeah.
So what have I been doing all those years saying to myself, "No, that's not for you. You're not a sporty type. You're not the fit girl." And then saying yes is also saying yes to yourself. If you're talking about self-love, we
Right.
always associate that with getting a massage or going, I don't know, get your nails done or like soft things, that
Yeah.
are treat yourself well. But working hard at the gym or eating healthy food or, these are also things that is self-love.
Yes,
And even if the work is hard, it is self-love. And that
absolutely.
grows your confidence because the stronger I got from working out, it was not just physical strength, it was mental strength. And
Mhm.
if you want to take up space and own your greatness, you have to have a mental strength as well because you have to believe it. You have to stand
Yes,
really, really strong and be rooted really, really strong so that you don't collapse the moment it starts, a storm starts in your life.
absolutely.
And then you have to be rooted really, really deep. And you do that by also making not only your body strong, but being mentally strong.
Yeah, and I love that because it could be different for different people, right? For some people that
Mhm.
might not matter to them, but ultimately, you're right. Like there, because it's going to be like always this call to step out of this new comfort zone, to
Yeah.
close the new gap and be in that new gap in the expansion. It's going to require some strength to not just be like, let me crumble back to this safe
Yeah.
circle, safe comfort zone that
Yes.
I'm in. Because there's going to be challenges by design. If you step out of that comfort zone, there's fears, there's concerns, there's discomfort, if
Yes.
anything. So, how
And
does it look like?
immediately
Sorry.
voices in your head, and immediately also the voices in your head.
Yes.
What are people going to say about that? What are they going to think? Yeah.
And also, like, it's not too bad. Like, it's this comfort zone is fine. It's good enough.
Yeah.
Other people are not going for like this. Why do I
Yes.
need this? Right. And I know I do that.
Yes.
I start to
Yeah.
convince myself that it's fine
Yes.
where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's fine. We rationalize it.
exactly. But we're not here to settle for fine, not women like us, right?
No, no way. No. No.
No way.
And it happens to so many women because I coach a lot of female entrepreneurs and I want to get them out of their comfort zone
Mhm.
all the time. They say they don't have any comfort zone left since they met me. And then I challenge them and I say, okay, let's go. I got a photographer and we're going to make really crazy pictures. And I got my stylist here with really big gowns and dresses and fluff, and I see the panic in their eyes occur like, oh my God, do you want us to dress up like that? I mean, they want to
It's
be,
not me, right?
it's not me, that's not me, that's not my brand. And I'm a professional and I want people to take me seriously. And, and I see they tell themselves their stories already. I don't, but if you take photos in that kind of a gown, I will not be able to use that kind of photos or images on LinkedIn. People will not take me seriously because
Yeah.
I'm in finance or I'm in construction or I'm in health. And they see these gowns and they say, I understand that they will look good on you, but you have totally different figure and
Your body's
looks.
different, and
Your
yeah.
body's different. So for you, it's okay. But for me, I will look like a cupcake or I don't know. And then, yeah, then they're so worried. And then they put these dresses on and they get makeup on and they look in the mirror and like, huh, look at me. And then they start,
Yes.
and then after the photo shoot, I say, are you done? No, no. And they start walking around like little princesses, like
Yeah.
being a child again, remembering this playfulness again. And they say, I feel pretty again.
Yes.
I didn't feel like this pretty and beautiful in years. And like so feminine. And I didn't
Mhm.
expect that side of me. And then they get really emotional about it. They get teared up and like I didn't see myself so pretty and like a pretty feminine way. You
Yeah,
just
it's kind of
dress.
like that settling, right? Oh, I'm not like this, these pretty
I'm not
women.
like this,
I'm
but I
just
cannot
this.
wear those things. Yeah,
Yeah. And it's so
yeah,
powerful that you do that. It's one of my favorite things about you that you create these fun experiences for women, especially through
yeah,
the photography and the dressing up,
yeah,
because people might dismiss it, but actually
yeah,
think about it. A day where you're just like in your comfy, like let's say you see in PJs all day, or you have like sweatpants, and you're like staying
yeah.
comfy with a hoodie. How
Mhm.
are you showing up really? Then when you like dress up, even if just like a nice dress or you did your hair. I know for me, when I do my hair and makeup, I feel so much better than when I'm just like on the
Yes.
couch in my sweats. But not just that, we were just on an event in an event together where actually we're encouraged to dress up and take on
Yeah.
different identities. And some people go there and
Yes.
they're like, oh, I don't like this dressing up thing, right? I didn't want to invest
Mhm.
into that. And I didn't want to feel like peer pressured into looking a certain way. I've heard people say that
Mhm.
at this event. And what I
Oh,
said to them, and you probably would agree with me, is for me, I find this fun because it helps
it
me expand
is.
my identity, test out different things and see how I feel in that. And that
Yes.
shows me something that I wasn't seeing that potentially helps me to own more of my greatness. Hey, I can
Yes.
wear this, I can own this. And who am I when I wear this?
Yes. And also you feel differently and you feel pretty and you radiate a whole different kind of energy. And that is so different. I just read a story about Marilyn Monroe that
Mm-hmm.
she was walking down the street with a friend and she was not in her zone and she was just not feeling it. And people didn't recognize her. Nobody knew it was Marilyn Monroe. And then she said to her friend, do you want to see me become Marilyn Monroe? And
Mm.
let's see what happens. And then it was the same person. She didn't dress any different. We're on the street,
Yeah.
but she was owning her presence, her energy shifted. Everybody looked up. Wow, wow, oh my God, it's
It's
Marilyn
Marilyn
Monroe.
Monroe.
Yeah, yes, it's Marilyn Monroe. Because that is the thing you radiate. That is what, so that it's not about the dresses, but it's about how it makes you feel
A
and how you
hundred percent.
enter a room and the presence you have. I mean, one day I went to Paris with my clients and we went to the Moulin Rouge theater and I also had a stylist and we had really big red dresses, the gowns. And we were walking in Paris on the streets and it was like there was a spotlight on our heads. Everybody turned and not just men whistling or something. I mean, there
Right.
were older couples
It's like,
like
who are these
grandma.
women? Like, they must
Yeah,
be important. They must be well known. They must be
yeah.
something, right? You're like, whoa.
Children, people high fiving. Suddenly, we were interacting with everybody we
Oh,
passed by, and they were like, "Oh, this is so cool!" And people that actually worked at the theater for the Moulin Rouge, they said, thank you for dressing up like this." They really appreciated it, and it felt like we were in the spotlights all the time. So you see what happens when you make the shift in owning your greatness, just really owning yourself, be comfortable with that. I think um, also between men and women, when we sometimes when we fight or we want them to notice us and we get cranky and we think, oh, I'll give you the silence treatment or something.
mm,
But that's not attractive. You know, the thing that is really attractive and that makes a man really wants a woman is when he sees her having fun, being comfortable and in her skin and with who she is, radiating that presence,
yes.
just enjoying herself, enjoying life. That's the part that is so magnetic to other women as
Yes.
well, also to men, also with clients in your business. That is what owning your
Online
greatness.
as well, like on your social
Yes,
media.
yes,
I love that because it's not like you said, it's not the clothes, but the clothes is a
no,
tool. It
yes,
helps you to actually embrace that. And some people, because you're talking, we were in the spotlight, we're in the spotlight. Some people
yeah,
listening might be like, I want to be in the spotlight. Some
I
people have
don't
some
know.
shadows around that, like, because if I'm
Yes,
seen, that means this, and that. And that's why doing that type of inner work in combination with, because
yes,
owning your greatness, it's not just like, I'm going to just shoulders up and
just gonna do it.
walking in a pretty dress. Like, no, that's what
No,
it
no, no.
means to be in a discomfort. Now it's like, okay, what do I make it mean that I don't want to be in the spotlight? How could what am I imagining that would affect me? And doing
Yeah,
that type of inner work. But without doing that, these layers, this stuff would not be shown to yourself, to you.
yes,
Now
yes,
it's an
and doing
opportunity.
that. Yes, and that doing that type of inner work, it requires a few things.
Yeah.
First of all, of course, you have to say yes. Second of all, who you surround yourself with, because that will set the standard, and then it will
Yes.
be more normal if you see other people behaving like that and doing it. And the third is really getting a mentor or a coach or someone that believes in you, that creates a safe space
Yeah.
for you to get out of your comfort zone. You're just by yourself, just look at me. going down the street out of my comfort zone. It's tricky, but if you have someone that's leading the way, that is showing you how you can do it because she's doing it,
Yes.
it's a permission slip. Like, yes, you can
It
do
creates that
like
micro
that.
little safety there, right?
Yes.
Because you're not just by yourself, but you touched on something very important. And it reminded me when I first met my spiritual teacher, like many years
Mhm.
ago. And I wasn't used to that. I grew up in a environment with my family where it's more like high standards and, where's the gap, and a lot of criticism on what's not
Mm.
there yet. And I think a lot of women have lived that in their lives. And that was the first time that this spiritual teacher, like you said,
Mhm.
sees the greatness in you. She saw
Yes.
in me more than I was able to see in myself. She was
Yes.
standing for the me, quote unquote, the greatness in me that I wasn't yet embodied in.
Exactly that.
That is the most healing, empowering experience you can be in.
You know how my clients call that? I don't know if it's really a real word, but they say it's borrowed belief.
Oh,
Like it's
okay.
not
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I've heard
yeah,
that before because it's like
yeah,
that person has such belief in you that you can
yes,
start borrowing that belief to believe in yourself.
yes. You
Yeah.
borrow it. You have someone that is an uh, yeah, that creates the safe space so you can lean into that
Yeah.
and grow into that. And that's the first part is someone believing it so you can believe it yourself,
Yes.
your greatness.
And there's
It
something
doesn't
about
come
that
from your
projection too, or the being
yes,
reflected, right? It's like having that
yes,
mirror. It's like, and you're like, oh, really? You see that in me?
yeah.
You think I
And
could
then
be
you start
that?
believing it yourself.
Yeah.
And then, if you believe it yourself, you started acting like it, you
Yes.
take action, and then you get self confidence.
Yes.
Then you get self confidence, but it usually starts with someone else giving you this borrowed belief, a little confidence already, so
Yes.
you can develop and create your own self confidence and owning your
100%.
greatness.
And as you own more of your greatness, you get different results because you're
Yes,
showing up differently in your life, whether it's through business results or even like
yes.
the way people interact with you in relationships or at work. Like the other day, I had this fun thing with my husband because he'll tell me about his business and I have a lot of
Mhm.
idea for marketing. But the thing with men is they have to ask you for advice. They're not necessarily
Mhm.
interested in you just giving them random advice. But since we're talking about it, it almost feels indirectly like he's asking. But I'm seeing myself like pouring into him and he's just like being not coachable and just pushing it away. And
Mhm.
that's been a dynamic forever. But just a moment, I was like, because I'm working on owning my greatness. I said nothing. I stood up taller in the chair and I just looked at
Yeah.
him, just observing, not no charge, no emotional charge, nothing. And he just kept talking and he's like, anything to add? And I said, no, because that wasn't a direct question. But what's happening in my head? I was like, I'm no longer available for him not seeing the goal that I'm bringing and not feeling valued
Mm.
for what I'm contributing to him. And I'm like, and it's not in, oh, he was wrong. He should have seen my value. But it's more
Mhm.
like, if he doesn't want it, I don't have to extend up that energy. And I'm willing to extend that energy only when he requests it.
And that's so attractive. The thing I always say to myself, I don't chase, I attract. That's actually what you were doing, not pushing, pushing,
Yes.
pushing, like taking a step back, being totally confident. You know what your values are, you know what you have to bring, you know how smart you are, you
Yeah.
know how many ideas you have, but
And
let
the
it.
funny thing is, I said nothing, but I wasn't like,
Mhm.
like I wasn't like
No, no,
snarky
no.
or anything like that. But he
No.
came back and he said,
Yes.
I just want to say, like,
It
I really
attracts.
value your
Mhm.
advice, and I'm
Yes.
sorry if some, and I didn't say anything. He got it on himself, and he changed his approach towards me.
Yes,
That
that's
was
so
fascinating,
interesting.
right?
This is so cool. Now you're owning this. This is your greatness. Now you can
Exactly.
do this anywhere.
Absolutely. But it's fun to see, like, people are listening, like, play with that. Maybe like dress up in certain ways, or I don't
Yes.
know, try and like expand your identity in some way And
Yes.
sometimes in real time, you get like with my husband, you get the difference. And
Yes.
that starts to build also the confidence we are talking about. Like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
this
So
might be
this works.
actually working.
Yeah.
And I might want to
Without
do more.
pushing it. And, you could have had so many approaches. No, you have to do this. Why don't you listen to me? Why don't you ever pay attention when I say all these great things? Like that. But you're just owning it back. And
Do you
then
know
it
how much
attracted
people
him.
pay to get my advice and you get it for
Yes,
free?
yes, yes. But this is the thing that we do. Then we think we have to convince people, and then we have to convince harder. Don't you see? Don't you see? And that is also owning your self-worth and knowing your value, being okay with that. That is what is so magnetic, and that is what attracts all the time. But it's difficult to grow into that.
That's a really good
Yeah.
point because you're just mirroring back something I didn't even catch, even though I was speaking. It was actually owning my value. Is like, I
Mm,
don't need you to tell me it's valuable, which might have been a little
yes,
bit what it was before. It's like, I know it's
yes,
valuable. And when you're ready to receive it, if ever, I'm happy
yes.
to give it to you. If not, it's okay. I don't need validation. Mm,
That is the part. I don't need validation from
right.
the outside, from not from anyone.
Yes.
But this is what we do secretly.
Yeah.
We think our worth depends on
Yeah.
how many times we get that
100%.
validation from other people.
And that can be sneaky,
Yes,
right?
yes. But now you recognize it, and the thing that you said, it makes you also realize how much you've grown.
Yes.
Yes,
Exactly.
how much
Pat on the
effort you
back.
get.
All
Yes,
right.
I did
But it's
well.
a journey, right? So and
Yes.
not everybody might able to be doing that right off the bat. I've been we both been doing this work for a very long time. And
Yes.
so it makes sense that we're able to do certain things that maybe if someone's midway on the journey, it's like I don't know if I'm able to do that quite yet. Like sometimes I coach my clients and I give them examples and they're like,
Mhm.
I hear you. I don't know if I'm there yet. Like, I don't know if I can let it go quite yet,
Mm.
right? But that's okay because it's all about the progress and owning more and more of your greatness. It's not, I didn't own my greatness and now I do. It's not black and white.
No, but it was so helpful, this example of you and your husband, because you can use that anywhere.
Yeah.
Because we are so convinced that we need to tell people, oh, pick me, listen to me,
True.
take me seriously. I'm a professional. I know a lot. And then it changes into, I'm the one you can't take your eyes off.
Exactly. And I'm gonna dress the part, I'm gonna
Yes.
dare to dress in a way that's
Yeah.
maybe
You
different.
don't have to shout louder
Exactly.
to be able to for
But
people
when
to
you
notice
start dressing up, I'm gonna say, like when I started with the events we went to together,
you. Mhm.
I was I'm not sure if I want to wear normal clothes. Like it's really nice to be able to dress up. It doesn't have to be flashy and like a costume.
No,
There's something nice about claiming this identity, claiming this uniqueness too. Is like this is my essence, and I want to claim that and
and
be
I
it.
can have it all. I can be this extravagant person, but I also feel like being in a hoodie and in my
That's
sweatpants,
true.
and and that's me too. And that's
Yeah.
okay. That is also just owning the everything, owning the person you are
Mhm.
in your full glory
That's
at
such an
any
important
time.
point because we are also as women cyclical beings. And so it's not that you
Yes.
have to pick an identity and stick to the identity forever,
No.
right? It can be
No.
fluid. It can be
It
changed
could be fluid.
even from
Yes.
morning to night. Like, depending how we feel.
Yeah.
That is totally cool. Yeah, I love that. Thank you
Great.
so much, Anouk. Like this was an amazing conversation. Um, what do you think, like, just like for people, like, what would you like to challenge people to do? Like, maybe one or two things that they can do from your lens to own more of their greatness today.
I would say just pick one thing that would get you out of your comfort zone that you can overcome
Mhm.
a fear that you have. And if it's driving by yourself, then let it be that. If it's calling up a client on the phone, if it's speaking up to your husband,
Yeah.
something or dressing up, it doesn't really matter, but something that You have to overcome and
Yeah.
see what happens, and let that get your new baseline. That become your new baseline,
Yes.
because that is how you grow, and challenge someone, and an accountability buddy, and do it together, and
Yes.
so that you're actually going to do it, not just saying things. That doesn't help at all, but just really getting into that identity, saying yes, doing it, do it together, support each other, lift each other up, and find people, surround yourself with people that are doing the same.
Absolutely.
Find a mentor, find a coach, and start by saying yes and
Say
pressing the
yes.
heart.
I think that's
Say
amazing. And also, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like some people will
no.
say, I tried to speak up to my husband, but it ended up in a fight. That's okay. You know,
Yeah,
you're getting the hang of it. You actually, or you went on a drive and you just get to the
yeah,
corner and you were too, I don't know, right? So it doesn't have
yes,
to be perfect. It just has to be like you
no.
did it.
You don't have to look perfect. You can have all red spots in your neck, and maybe you feel something in your tummy tension, but you did it.
Yeah.
I'm a person who does this kind of thing. That's the thing. We have to tell ourselves different
Yes.
stories.
Brilliant.
Great.
Brilliant. And
Mhm.
okay, so if you're you who is listening, if that stirred something in you or opened something in you, don't just leave it there, right? Take that on. And also, I'd love if you'd like to join a community. You don't have people. I actually have a private community on Facebook called Aligned and Turned On, and we're really starting this movement. So you can come at the beginning of this movement taking form. And this is really all the 5 pointed star path is really to be in a place where you live aligned to your truth, to yourself, to your twist, and turned on, like you're activated, you're excited by life. And this is the first step is that owning your greatness. And so currently I'm actually taking myself through this week live, through this work, excuse me, live every week inside that group. And so the lives usually are available 30 days on Facebook now. So if you feel the pull, I'd love for you to step in and join us. And before we close, Anouk, how can people connect with you?
Oh yeah, connect with me on Instagram. I'm Anouk Kral. That's ANOUKKRAL. And say hi, and let's be in touch there.
Absolutely. Anouk
Let's connect.
has so well, you just got a small piece of what Anouk offers. Like there's so much
Yeah.
more that she has to offer. So definitely go check her out. And we'll put that in the show notes as well. So you don't
Thank
have
you.
to rewind, just check the information below.
Okay, cool. Thank
All
you.
right. Well, thank you, Anouk. Any closing words from your part?
No, just start closing the gap now. Yeah.
Yeah, close that gap. All right.
Close that
Also,
gap.
there's more to you than you know, is kind of like what's landing in me. All right. Well, thank
Yeah.
you, Anouk, and thank you, everybody. Much love.